Are we live? Are we live?
Yes, we are live. Hello. This is the May live Q&A from Tur. My name is Heri. I am in Prague.
Oh.
And those two gentlemen are...
Well, who's that there in the middle?
I, I don't know.
Do we have anyone with us here? 5 people.
5 people.
That's a bunch.
Never know. Good. Right. So, as usual, I'm here with Gunnar and Tadeusz. Gunnar is in Mibaver in the Faroes. Tadeusz is on the banks of the Danube, I believe, in
Right
Budapest.
over there. Yes. It's,
Amazing.
North from Budapest. Yes.
How come you decided to do it outside today?
Well, I just felt for taking a walk, and it got a bit longer. So we
Nice.
went over to one of the islands in the Danube, and then had a couple of beers and came
Islands
back.
in a river?
Yes,
Be a
there
huge
are.
river. We don't have that in the Faroes.
The Danube is quite huge. Yes, it is.
We got some comments. Greetings from Australia, Boston, Mexico. If you have any questions to ask us, that's what we are here for.
And we are, frankly, waiting for your question. So let's get on with it. Come on.
We are.
Please.
Time is running. Time.
Yeah.
Damn these watches.
TikTok, bitches.
Time is of the essence.
All right. Look, we do this every the first Saturday of each month at 5 o'clock Central European Time in the afternoon. You'll find us live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, whatever that is. Have you ever used Twitch, Tadeusz?
I have a profile on there, but even I am too old for that shit. So I just left it right there. I logged in once, and I was like, okay, I have no idea what to do with this stuff here. So I'm just going back to plain old Facebook and Instagram.
Same question for Gunnar. Gunnar, what do you do on Twitch?
Ha! Twitter, twatter. Come on. I don't use that kind of shit.
All right.
I go out fishing. That's good for me. Come on.
Oh,
Sounds nice. We have a question here from Savina Chavez. What is something you all would like to see from all venues when it comes to COVID enforcement? Nothing really. I would like there to be people to be vaccinated, and once a certain amount of everybody has been vaccinated, I think it's about 75 or 80%, should not have to worry about that anymore. I hope this COVID doesn't leave a lasting impact on how we have to lead our lives in the future. I would like to see it go absolutely back to normal.
I couldn't add anything to that. I mean, it's just
No. Back to normal again, please.
back to normal, or at least back to the new normal. Like let's have shows, let's get vaccinated to have shows and to have tours again.
Yeah. And let's stand close up against each other and breathe into our mouths.
Remember the days. Here's a similar comment. Joseph Den Donnen. I'll purchase you all a beer when you journey down under. That means Australia for those uninitiated. Your favorite aspects of tour life when COVID finally settles? ? Well, a beer would be wasted on me, I'm afraid. I don't like the taste of beer.
I'll take his.
I will pass my beer to Tadeusz.
And I will pass my beer to Tadeusz. Unless you have an alcohol-free beer. So, if you have.
I'll take sparkling water.
Or whiskey.
Yeah, sparkling water. Sparkling whiskey. How about that?
That sounds good.
So,
Great.
favorite aspects of tour life when COVID finally settles? Well, tour life generally, like I've said many times, and I can't say it enough, just the fact that you get to travel as much as you do in a touring band is I would do it just for the travel, honestly. I love going to new places you'd never see unless you were in a touring band. And if we weren't, we'd have to, plan and pay and whatever to get to visit as many places as we do. And I really look forward to visiting Australia, especially getting back to the US, seeing some places we'd never seen before. Maybe, I don't know what they were talking about. Something in South Korea, maybe somewhere in the Middle East. Just
South Africa, maybe.
Looking forward for everything to come back online.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. I would just like to get out and travel again.
Yeah.
I love it too.
And of course, being on stage with you guys, and just enjoying the song.
Oh yeah, and that part
get
too.
the reaction.
Yes.
Sure, Tadeusz.
Yeah.
You warms my heart.
I am a romantic. I'm a lost romantic. I know.
Lefteris Fosteris. Will you visit Greece for a concert after the pandemic? I don't think there were any specific plans for Greece, but if anyone will have us there, I'd be the first to say yes. We were there twice, and I loved it every time.
Yep, definitely. Of course, we will come down there to Greece.
Definitely.
We'll make that happen. And we'll bring a little bit extra grease.
Horrible.
Caligula Germanicus, you think about doing a tour in Brazil? I think about it all the time. And if for a second I don't think about it, there's always someone from Brazil to remind me. Like you right now.
Hashtag come to Brazil. Yes, definitely. I mean, who wouldn't go? I mean, the first time I was with you guys, that was like 2 years ago. It was amazing, absolutely. The whole South American bunch and the people down there are just unbelievable, crazy,
completely wild people.
Yes. So please let us go back there. Let us come back to
definitely
your beautiful continent.
Nothing beats flying over the Andes.
Oh yes.
Oh, that is nice. That is nice. Mutants, genetic gladiators. Your favorite foods? My favorite foods are probably Faroese traditional rastafiskur, the wind-dried with semi-fermented dried fish with gatnatolk. Look that up. See if you can find the translation. It's wind-dried fermented tallow from inside sheep, and fried and eaten with the wind-dried and boiled fish. It's unexplainable. I think it's the best tasting stuff I've ever had. Apart from that, I can never get enough meat of any kind.
Well, basically for me, it's everything from the ocean is amazing. So, and I lean more towards Mediterranean seafood. So, I love that stuff.
Well, I have to agree partly with Gunnar. I'm a big fan of Mediterranean cuisine, of Italian. That said, I still am vegetarian, so not that much meat for me, neither fish. But Italian or Middle Eastern hummus and all kinds of.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, hummus is great.
Yes.
Douglas E. Sorensen. If someone were to visit Faroe, what are some of the better places to visit and non-tourist places that should be seen?
Well, come on. We all know that answer. Come and visit me. I'll give you a heck of a time.
Go to Mivavur I will give you the address and ask, knock on the door, is Gunnar home? Look, what I think are the nicest things I've seen in the Faroes, and it's not that easy to get to. It's a place called Skenter and cliff called Muilingur. It takes about 3 hours to walk there, and you better go on a guided tour because it's not really that easy to get to or find unless you know what you're doing. I would suggest that. It's a hike from the village. Where do they go from? Tjørnuvik, the northernmost village on Streymoy. That's what I would suggest.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of places. I guess everything is quite nice. I know for a fact that the island I'm on, Vakar, this is a very, very nice place to go up in the hills and look around. It's very beautiful. But yeah, that's just one of them.
Yeah, of course.
Basically, if you take a long walk in the northern part of the island, it's absolutely amazing. So,
What was that artificial small forest you took us to? Yeah, so-called forest.
in my backyard,
No. That was in the north, not even on your island. It was.
Kunoy.
Yes, I think.
That's a beautiful place.
Yes.
Yeah. That village and the small small fenced-in forest, that is very beautiful.
Yeah. Well, I would say basically anywhere in the Faroe Islands you'll get beautiful sights, especially the northern parts. But please get a guide with you.
If you go to the mountains, yes, it's not as easy or safe as it looks. Frankie Cole asks, what bands would you like to tour with ideally when you're able to again?
Blind Guardian, for example.
Yeah, that would be nice. Blind Guardian.
Or Manowar.
Iron Maiden.
Judas Priest.
Judas Priest. Yes. Please.
I don't really know. Amon Amarth, maybe,
Yes,
some of the usual suspects for us. Maybe nice to see Korpiklani or Moon Sorrow again.
I would actually like to tour with Dream Theater. So.
Oh, that would be nice.
That would be cool.
Speaking a little bit about the same thing, Fabian Aldama says, hi guys, what are your favorite beer brands? Not really the same thing. I was too fast in reading that. Nothing for me, please.
Gunnar? Well, I actually, towards the end, before I stopped drinking, I was more to the beer Corona, which I thought was absolutely awesome, man. But they call it a girly beer. Well, whatever. I don't care. It was fucking awesome.
And now that you drink non-alcoholic beer, what's the best brand? Is there a lot to choose from?
Yeah, there's a lot. Some they're quite good. There's this Mikkeller. I think
that's the Faroese one.
No, it's Icelandic, I think.
But it's
very good.
Mikkeller, isn't it Danish?
Or is it Danish? I actually don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's Danish.
Danish, okay. But it's good. It's very good.
Last year in February, we had that. We had two kinds of Faroese alcohol-free beer in Thomsen.
No.
On the symphonic shows.
Yeah, that was Mikkeller. That was Mikkeller.
Was it?
Yeah. Okay. It's not Faroese.
That's very good. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and of course, I personally I prefer German beer, but there's just so unbelievably many brands. I mean, every small village has 5 own brands of beer in Germany. So and they're all very.
The funny thing is that I actually have to go into a liquor store and buy my alcohol-free beer, and I kind of wish I was drinking again, because when I see all the brands of beer they have now, it's just unbelievable. And
How
beer
come
is
they
just
have to
great.
sell alcohol-free beer at the liquor store? Why can't you just buy it anywhere?
Well, that
That's
beats me.
weird. Yeah, me too.
So,
Ian Overton asks, greetings from Boston. Any news on a new album? We've been working on stuff lately. It's a bit slow, but there is progress, and we made a few songs. Some of them are finished, and we're kind of just waiting to. Well, we have some plans.
Yes.
well,
Let's
I
not
bought
say more.
an album the other day. It's brand new.
A new album from us. I'm 99%
Oh.
certain he's talking about a new album.
It's in the making, and it's the progress is going
It's very
good.
yeah.
Steady.
It's very hard to talk about stuff like this because there's a limited amount we can reveal, and there's also a limited amount we can promise because whatever deadlines we set for ourselves, we reliably break. So I hate to promise anything. But let's just say we are working on it, and when there's anything to announce, we will announce it, and you'll be the first to know. Everyone.
We're gonna have Odin and Lucifer singing on it.
At least.
That is a genius.
Oh, did I reveal too much?
Odin and Lucifer on the next tour album.
They're making a duet.
Yeah. Duets.
Kind of lay of our love kind of song.
Odin and Lucifer in a love song.
Yes.
Here we go. Cara Doyle asks, what most inspires your music? Well, for my part, it's traditional melodies, and then I guess simply my love for music and what it does to people and to myself. I mean, it's hard to explain how meaningful music can feel, no matter what kind or how it's done. And when you do something that you think is worthwhile, something, a melody or a chord progression or whatever, harmonies, it's incredibly meaningful to put it together and to make it. And just the prospect of making it inspires me to want to make more of it. It's hard to explain.
I don't know if I understand it correctly, but I get inspired making music by actually listening to music. It really helps to listen to all kinds of music to kind of fuel up all your senses. And usually if you pick a guitar up after that, you'll make something really good. So that's where my inspiration anyway comes from.
I have to agree again with Gunnar. I mean, the inspiration itself is sometimes really nothing you are planning or something. It sometimes just hits you, and you just sit down and write down or record a melody, and then I think the inspiration for lyrics is way more complex in a sense that you're looking for maybe certain books or certain topics you want to write the lyrics about, but the song or the melody sometimes just hits you while you're, I don't know, in the shower or sitting on the can. It's just it's quite
Tadeusz inspired in the shower or on the can.
Yes, sometimes even there.
That's the Big Bang Theory. Right there.
All right. Hugo Krzysztof looks Polish, but never mind. Hello guys, hope you're doing well. Do you like the band Avenged Sevenfold? I don't really know them. I heard a song or two, and I thought it was a bit hit and miss. I can't really say. I haven't heard that many songs. Some songs I thought were quite useless. Other I thought were decent or excellent, and I haven't really dug into it. Honestly, I can't say.
I like the album where Mike Portnoy was playing on. It's called Nightmare or something like that. I don't know. I can't remember the title of the album actually. It was a good album, I think. But I think that's the only thing I know about it. So
I was listening. I mean, I think at least 10 years ago or something like that. I was listening to one Avenged Sevenfold album, and I think it had something. The title was something about the cities, ghost city, something like that. That was decent. I liked that back then. But I mean, sometimes I go back to albums I was listening 10 years ago, and I just realized that it's not for me anymore. So I don't know how I would feel about Avenged Sevenfold right now. So don't know. Back then it was okay.
Hugo continues. On a lighter note, do you want me to send you some fromage and baguette? Cheers from France. Oh, he's from France.
Oh yes.
But
Yes.
I'm afraid it might be
Yes.
it might be too old when it arrives.
Fromage
But
et baguette.
Definitely not wasted on me, I can tell you.
bring some when we come by in France, please.
Yes.
We love that stuff.
Paul Christian Andersen. Question for Gunnar here. Why are you such an outstanding goofball?
Well,
Gunnar,
I got nothing better to do. I have no idea. I often been asked that question. I certainly don't want to come off as a goofball, but sometimes stuff goes on in my head, and sometimes it comes out. And I find, in general, I find many things funny. So, but that does not mean that other people find it funny. So,
some of the time, I mean, sometimes we think, where the heck did that come from? But sometimes it's just ridiculously funny angles that I don't think anyone else I know could have thought of.
True.
So in general, I don't try to be a goofball, but
I think you're partly born like that.
Yes.
Yes. So what can I say?
We have a guy here called Thor Odinson. Well, if it isn't the metal man.
You
Hello,
see
Thor
that right,
Odinson. All right, so we're kind of low on questions at the moment. Let me, in the meantime, let me just remind everybody where you can go to get our merch. We recently added a new item to our merch store. It is a belt buckle, including the belt, of course, with our logo on the front and a runic inscription around. It's a quote from our song Ragnarskvæði. It says "Tuktur við strandur beygja strandur," and so on and so forth. And at our web store, you can also purchase our albums. For example, the second latest, Valkyria, because Hill, the latest, is sold out at the moment. We will restock it shortly.
Also sold out is, I think, this patch, right? Or it might be restocked.
I'm not sure. It might be sold out, yes.
Well, it'll be back sooner or later.
Everything will be back soon. Gunnar, you don't have anything of our merch to sport?
No merch, but
that I'm afraid is not available on our web store. But that is a beautiful thing.
No. And
I would love to have that myself.
That is a picture disc, picture LP of our album By the Light of the Northern Star, which is available at the moment on our web store in CD, which is the best we can do at the moment. I think that picture disc was a limited edition, and it's probably not going to be reprinted.
No, No, it's not gonna be reprinted. I don't think so. But
No.
interesting thing about this album is that I think this is the album we don't take my part, but I think this is the album we play the most songs from.
It has
In general.
some of our most popular songs. Probably the most popular song, "Hold the Hidden Hammer High."
Well, 1, 2,
Yeah.
3, 4, 5, 6. I think there's 5 or 6 songs we actually play from on the album.
Yeah, compare
regularly.
that to our album Land, which has 5 or 6 songs, none of which we play ever.
Yeah.
No, one of them. All right, let me go back to the questions, see if anything interesting came up here. The 160919. Oh, that's a birth date. Any chance of getting Ragnarok on LP anytime soon? A lot of people ask that, and it's not really up to us which formats the music is released in. If it were up to us, I'd make it immediately, but we don't have the rights. We don't decide what goes where. That's really a question for Napalm Records. We can ask them, but unless they see it selling decently well, I don't think they're going to do anything like that.
I would hope when we release album number 10 that we do a package with all of them in.
That's a good idea.
Cool.
That's a great idea.
That would be cool, but then again, it's a problem is we have 2 different record companies.
Yeah,
I'm not sure they would go for it.
So. Write that down and put a reminder on it for 10th album.
Yes.
Clark Woods asks, will you put up some signed merch? We're gonna meet for the show in a month, a bit less than that. Let's sign some stuff and put it on the web shop.
Let's do that.
Yeah,
definitely.
So
I'll sign my arm and you can get. Oh no,
your arm.
A bit macabre.
Here's a strange question from Matt Frank. Do any of your family members listen to Tuir? Yeah, I think one of my brothers at least listens to it from time to time, and my children do also from time to time. Not too much, but no, not all of them. Not even close are metal people.
My mother. Sorry.
Yeah,
my mother
really?
actually listens to the album I played on. So yes, I mean she started to listen to a lot of metal the day I started to play in bands. So I mean she grew into being a metalhead since I became
Interesting.
Well, since my brothers and I became one. So yeah, she's listening to Tyr.
Well, I got quite a few family members that listen to that stuff, but it's not all of it. Some of it they really like. So even one of my brothers listen to it every now and then. So it's kind of cool. And my mother does definitely not listen to it, and nor does my father. They both despise the music.
Primar Gunnlaugsson, do you guys have any plans on coming to Sweden this year? We did have some plans, yes. There was a tour planned for the autumn, and Sweden was included in that. But of course, at the moment, no one can say if this tour will happen. But I'm really, really hoping for it. There's a chance. It is not 0, but it is also not even 50%, I would say, chance that it will happen. But if that tour happens, Sweden is included.
Yeah, it's still not cancelled for this year. So yeah, hope dies last.
Well, certainly hope so. It's about time we get to Sweden because it's been a long time since we've been there.
We've been in Falun at the Sabaton Open Air 2 years ago, maybe
Yeah.
2 or 3.
Hmm.
That was the
Yeah,
last time.
we should do more shows. So
Yes.
definitely.
We should. Zarko Karadzin got a question. How are you guys so awesome? Asking for a friend. Well, Zarko's friend. Like we said about Gunnar just before, I guess we're mostly born this way. You have to be born awesome. It's nothing you can develop. I don't know. I'm not sure we're that awesome. Look, we made a band and we made some music, and I'm sure if you got to know us each personally and spend a week with us, we would seem a bit less awesome.
So
Except maybe Gunnar.
Exceptionally boring. Oh my
nerdy,
God!
Yeah. Is this all you do?
Yeah.
We're quite normal and ordinary.
Yeah, I thought you were a god of Viking metal. Is this your work? What the? If only you knew.
It would be such a dry environment. You would hardly have any spit in your mouth.
Sorry for that obnoxious sound, but yes.
Damn.
But thanks.
Oh, here's someone we need to wish. Nick Licata, a happy birthday. Hell yeah. I chat with you guys on my birthday. Happy birthday, Nick. Great to see you here.
Happy birthday. As we say here, Chitolata.
Yes, exactly. That's happy birthday in Faroese.
But that's the southern accent, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Sorry. Tloco.
That's more like it. João Batista Sazan, Portuguese probably, French maybe, I don't know. Do you guys watch reaction videos or cover videos of your music on YouTube? I haven't seen much on YouTube, but whenever I go through Instagram, people tag us with some cover they made. Could be a guitar cover, sometimes drum covers, and rarely also vocal covers. And yeah, I see those and I comment on and like all of them because take it as an honor that people would try to cover our music, but on YouTube specifically, no, I don't see much of that there.
No, I don't watch that stuff at all. You coming to the concert, that's the best reaction for me. So
I used to watch some of the guitar or drum covers on YouTube, yes, and I even saw some reaction videos. Although I don't really get the whole reaction video thing. I mean, it's people listening to a song or to an album for the first time and recording that. I mean, yeah, sure, it might be an interesting thing, but maybe I'm just too old for that. I don't know. I just don't get it.
Yeah, reaction things. Yeah, that's of course something else than covers. I have seen some reaction videos on YouTube also, but most of them, as I've seen, don't really. They're reacting like, oh hey, oh yeah, hey, look at that. I mean, who's going to use that and for what? Unless you have something, deeper to say about it, I think it's a waste of time. I don't want to just see your face while you're reacting to a song and then hear what you had for breakfast. But some people kind of go in depth and say why exactly they like it, what's good about it, what's not good about it, how they would maybe wish it were different, which is useful. And yeah, there are, I'm afraid most reaction channels that I've seen are not really useful. Satan's Fall 07 asks, what is the most embarrassing accident that ever happened to you on stage?
La
I
la la la. la.
think I ever really had an accident on stage. Not that I can think of. What annoyed me the most was my gear failing, which used to happen, unfortunately, when we were traveling with amplifiers. That's not really an accident. I don't think I really had an accident. So I will turn this one over to Gunnar.
Accidents, accidents. Oh. Well, I had quite a few accidents on stage, and well, those things tend to happen when you're in a good mood and flailing about. I had
Flailing about. Yeah, sounds like you.
well, I had an accident in, I think it was Klaksvik, where I back in the days we used wires, not wireless, and I got tangled up in my wire around my feet, and I fell straight to the floor and jammed my two teeth into the base on the way down. And it hurt pretty bad, and I broke the base.
But not your teeth.
No, not my teeth though. So I had to change the base. That was quite embarrassing because, of course, on that concert there was a cameraman who he got it all, but for some reason he never showed it to anyone. Good guy, good for him. But it was funny. But I had numerous. I even had a fall in America where I went straight into the audience because somebody had spilled beer on the floor, and I just went flying straight into the audience. So, but it's fun. Come on, it happens. So, what about you, Tadeusz?
Real accidents. I don't remember accidents on stage. I just, yeah, but failing gear can be very annoying, especially, I don't know,
Yeah.
for example, for example, when a cymbal stand just falls off your, the drum riser, or if your double bass pedal falls apart. And
Yeah.
I remember one time it was at a festival, I think in Hungary. Um, the stage was very high, like 3 meters high, and the drum riser was absolutely just next to the end of it. And but it was very small, so I had to really fit next to the drum, uh, just to avoid falling backwards. And I was playing a very fast song, and while doing double bass, my drum chair, the drum throne, went further back and backwards, and in the end, I was only uh, sitting on one leg of the drum throne. The other two, they were already in the air, over the edge of the drum riser. So I mean, I almost fell backwards down into the depth of that festival's stage. Yeah,
That would
that
be
was.
fun.
Come to think of
Yeah.
it, I did have an accident. My belt once broke
Oh yes,
while
in
we were
Italy.
playing.
In
Yes,
Italy.
I was. We have these stage trousers. They're very stretchy, so they don't stay up very well on their own. So I had a belt, but I'd used it for a decade probably, and it just fell apart while we were playing. And I was there trying to stand in a way and hold my guitar in a way that would hold the trousers up, but they were like halfway
I
down my ass. And when the song
He
ended,
was clenching his butt.
I sure was. I think I took your belt, Tadeusz. Did I?
Yes, yes, yes. You took mine.
That was certainly embarrassing. I'm not sure anyone noticed.
Well, I mean, you
It
you
felt
just
horrible.
you announced it. Well, my belt just broke. Sorry.
Okay, I think people would have noticed that. Sure. Okay. Rita Govea asks, best show you ever gave, in your opinion?
The symphonic shows are
Oh
up there
yeah,
in the top
yeah.
five,
I, I,
definitely.
I I would say that, but that was for symphonic reasons. I don't think it was my best performance. If I were to think about one, it's hard to say. Let's just say the symphonic show. It was amazing in a special way, but not necessarily because I was so great at that show.
Hellfest. That was a very good show, for me at least. I really enjoyed it, especially since we were playing for like 10,000 people or something. And Forza Rock in the Netherlands after our US tour, directly after the US tour in 2018, I think that was very good as well.
I mean, there's so many shows, but I anyway had a really good time in Hungary not too long ago when Attila was playing with us.
Oh yeah, that was
that,
at Barba Negra.
Yeah, Barba Negra. That was for me a fantastic show. So.
Yeah,
but there's so many. Come on, there.
Yeah, of course. It's hard to remember, but a few stand out, and one of them is definitely the symphonic show. Rod Metal. Rodney here from Houston, Texas. Hello back to Houston, Texas. Will you be coming back to the States?
Darn tootin'.
Darn tootin' we will. And just as COVID hit, they were, I know they were planning a US tour for us, but, it wasn't announced. I don't think it was. And then, of course, everything was postponed or canceled. And as soon as things open up to the level where you can tour again, they'll get back to it and plan a tour for us in the States. When? Can't say.
I think actually it was announced.
It was. We were on with Heidefolk and Trollfest, maybe.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah, that was. It was cancelled. Well, postponed just 1 month before the tour itself.
Yeah, I think it is postponed at the moment, and it's just anyone's guess when it comes back. Hopefully this year, but who knows? Just if you want to make sure you are notified when we go on tour again, you should go to bandsintown.com/tier and track us on Bands in Town. They will let you know when we are playing in your area. That is the best way. We've been at this for about 45 minutes now, and Gunnar is about to fall asleep. And I think we'll leave it at that for the questions. We do this on the first Saturday of every month at 5 p.m. Central European Time. It's a great idea to do it outside, Tadeusz. Maybe I'll do it outside too next time if weather permits.
Look.
Nice. And you too, Gunnar? You'll be outside next time?
Yeah, why the hell not?
Depends on the weather, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm more concerned with the internet connection, so.
Yeah, of course.
Quite stable here.
Yeah.
So
but yeah, maybe I'll do it underwater next time.
Take your diving gear. Oh, that would be great. I would love that. On the 7th, we release the next Tourcast episode. It's in 6 days, and we're actually recording it tomorrow, releasing on the 7th, as we do on every month at the 7th and the 22nd. I would urge everyone who's watching this to go to Facebook and find the Great Heathen Army of Tuir and join that Facebook group, and you will be treated royally as a special Tuir fan. And lastly, but not leastly, if you want to support us, please go to patreon.com/tierband, where you can get access to some behind the stage materials and some extra stuff. And that's it. Nothing more to say. Oh yeah, of course, the raffle with if you go to patreon.com/tierband and sign up, you may be the winner of one of these nice silver pendants announced by the 22nd Rubbish, the 20th of May, and all members of patreon.com/tierband are automatically in the contest. So It's made of
Give
real
it a try.
silver. It's real tea rune. Silver wolf heads holding the rune. Leather strap. Coolest merch you'll ever find. The best, the very best. Everybody says so. Right. Righty-ho, gentlemen.
So, yo, to all tier fans out there. See you next time in the house.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Adios.